Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Gates of Hope series. Today's session is the Breath of Life, with Maree Crutch. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Lawrence Maskell. I'm one of the co-directors of the Australian Shiatsu College, and so welcome. Before we start, for those of you who don't know Maree, Maree is a healthcare practitioner and educator with over 30 years experience. She commenced her career as a general nurse and then moved into nurse education. A trip to India in the 80s started her lifelong love affair with Oriental sacred meditation and movement practices. She is a former co-director of the Australian Shiatsu College and has taught and practiced Shiatsu for 30 years. She is also a certified yoga instructor, a registered Japanese acupuncturist, a Seikim and Reiki master. I think that's all. She's got a lot of feathers in her cap. I will hand over to Maree now and enjoy the session. Before I hand over to Maree, so we'll have about 40 minutes of Maree's instruction and guidance, and then we'll conclude with 15 to 20 minutes of question and answer. While Maree is presenting, I'd ask if you stay muted so that way the recording focuses on Maree and we don't have any background disturbance. But at the end of the session, you'll have an opportunity to interact and engage and ask as many questions as you like of Maree. So I'll hand over to Maree now. Thank you.
Good morning, and I'd like us to start with the most basic of the mudras. We're going to be working with them today, and it's the Anjali Mudra, bringing your hands together at the heart center. While we take a moment to acknowledge the traditional custodians of our land, past, present, and emerging. And I'd also like to acknowledge the lineage that I come from through the various practices of Oriental medicine, as well as my practice of Buddhism and through my Christianity as well. So I acknowledge all my teachers, past, present, and also I acknowledge what we all bring to this moment. As we come together as community, still in this space of virtual community, for this important moment in time. And I hope today, as I introduce one of the aspects of the metal element, the lung, and how the lung can provide us with inspiration, which is so important at this time. So if you could care to join with me using our sound, one of the qualities of the metal element is the gift of sound that is created through the airways. And the most primordial of all sounds is the Om. If we break it into 3 sections, O, R, and Om. In our own time, we allow that to move to all the corners of the globe using white light. White is the color of metal, to bring peace and harmony, which is so needed, to all the corners of the universe and ultimately into our heart. So please join me. You're welcome to unmute while we all chant at this important moment. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om, peace. So just be aware, holding your hands together. Start to experience the warmth in your fingertips as you acknowledge these precious gifts, the gift of our fingers. And today we're going to explore hand movements, sacred gestures, seals that are known throughout history, that are practiced in the Indian yogic tradition, known as hand mudras, hasta mudra. These sacred gestures provide us with a means of connecting in to old reflexes of old instinctual patterns that sit primarily at the base of the brain, around the brainstem. And we have the added benefit nowadays through our evidence-based sciences of also acknowledging the neural pathways coming down through the central nervous system that connect with the tips of the fingers, and particularly the area in the brain, the motor cortex, where large components of our grey matter connect in with our hands and our feet. Therefore, there is much power in generating these specific gestures, these movements in our fingers particularly, to help stimulate neuroplasticity in the brain. And if we add affirmations, then we can create change with some of our habitual patterns. So today, that's what I'd like to explore. Looking at some of the ancient esoteric knowledge of the points, I will take one point today, Zong Fu, Lung One, and we will explore that using a particular hand mudra, Uttara Buddhi mudra, mudra of the highest enlightenment. And I will add or offer an affirmation. My partnership with the powers of the cosmos allow me to appear in a new light. And I'll repeat this a number of times, inviting you to take this in or modify it for your own use. So this is what I'm hoping for the next 40 minutes we will explore. And so now I bow, acknowledging, namaste, the divinity in all of you as you share this space with me, and that I hope at the end of 40 minutes we can share something of our own journeys and experiences. On a practical level, just to let you know that when we record using Zoom, that if you want to stay without having any images of yourself or audios recorded, then it's best to keep your microphone on mute and your video potentially on blocked, because when you do speak or make some movement, then the video records you, and it is quite a challenge to have to edit that out. That will be the job at the college. So just so that you know that this is recorded, and if you prefer not to have any identifying aspects done, then you need to stay on mute and have your video removed. But in saying that, for me, and I've been delivering online now for the last 3 months since we've had this experience of not being able to be face to face, and I've really benefited from being able to interact with a lot of you that I haven't otherwise seen for a while. So for that, I give thanks, and it's been a wonderful experience to be able to share, to get together, to maintain our community. But I am really looking forward to coming back into the space at the college. but just also on a personal note, last Sunday I decided with our first weekend away, first time out, that I'd go visit my other good shiatsu friend who I trained with, and we'd go walking. And I took over a barbed wire fence with my nice flared pants and I broke my foot. So I'm still integrating that. I can't believe it. So Maree Crutch is on crutches. So it's a bit of fun, navigating, getting around. I'm grateful for 30 years of learning to crawl. And a bit like the hand mudras, my feet are getting a workout by crawling. So I think I'm going back and reworking some of those patterns, obviously I didn't do as a child. So just bear with me. If I break out in tears or have some little apoplectic fit, my excuse is I've broken my foot. All right? So here we go. Let's just come for a moment for those of you who haven't had a background in Oriental medicine and just look at the context of where the lungs sit. I am going to refer to my large notes. I've chosen today not to do death by PowerPoint. I think that's good because even though, we all want some physical form of notes from what I'm giving you, it interrupts the flow of me being able to interact with you. The resources that I use come from textbooks. I can put those up at the end in the chat, but primarily they're texts around mudras and a beautiful text that we have used in the college, Characters of Wisdom, Taoist Tales of the Acupuncture Points by Deborah Katz. So I'll pop those details of resources later, and that can come through the questions. So the lung and large intestine are assigned to the metal element, and the metal element time is autumn. So even though in theory we are in winter, it's really not till the solstice next week that we are truly in winter. And it's good to review the season before. And sometimes we can even use the energy of the season before to provide us with some movement into the next season. I also thought, as I've been delivering anatomy and physiology, focusing on the lung and the immune system, and as we're in this moment of still being within a pandemic, that it was important to look at the lung. So the lung and its pair, the large intestine, are part of the organs and meridians that are assigned to the metal element. The other elements, the child of metal is water, and that's the phase we're coming into next winter. And I hope that we can continue this journey through the next few months, looking with our Gate of Hope series, looking at the elements, one specific point in the elements, and using our mudras and affirmations to explore these. We move from winter into spring, wood, energy, through into summer, heart, small intestine and its other associated organs, pericardium and sanja, and late summer into earth. So here we are, still just on the end of autumn. So the lungs, Wei is the name that's assigned in Chinese to the lungs. And they're said to be the receivers of the heavenly qi, where we draw in inspiration of heaven itself. So with each breath, we take in this vital life force. And in the Neijing, the lungs are said to hold the office of the minister and the chancellor. And that the Chinese say that the life force, or qi, instinctively knows how to govern life. We are given so many breaths this life, each life. So it's what we do with each of those breaths. So naturally, the more we can learn to slow our breath down, potentially, the longer our life. By breathing in, we take in a penetration of that vital energy, providing us with guidance for life. The specific meridian of the lungs runs from the chest down the medial side of the arm. Let's just stroke down it on the left as we just make that relationship. Down in to the thumb. Let's just roll that out. Let's come to the other side. The meridian flows from the chest down the medial aspect of the arm into the thumb. Let's just roll that out. Lung 1, where we'll come back to the actual palpation of lung 1. So lung 1, I'm not going to do exact an anatomical location. Just place your palms around the chest and let the thumb roughly sit into a spot just to the side. If you place your fingers across touching, then your thumb comes around lung 1. Zong Fu. Lung 1 is said to be the center of the palace riches. Close your eyes and experience the riches that sit within your chest. This is the space at lung 1, Zongfu, of the beautiful crystal of your inner being. It is the palace of the pure quality of your inner essence. Lung 1 is the entry point, going straight into your inner wealth and its connections with the heavens. Breathing in, taking in breath, fresh energy and life. Breathing out, sending that down to the bases of your lungs. Holding that breath for a moment. Breathing in, the lungs fade. Breathing out, feeling the warmth under your hands penetrating into the top of your lungs. And now we press the thumb and the index finger across the top lobes of the lungs. Each of the fingers have an affinity with an area of the lung. The thumb and the index finger work on the upper lobes of the lungs. The middle finger, try stretching out the middle finger, the middle lobe. The right lung has 3 lobes, upper, middle, and lower. The left lung makes a space, the cardiac area, for the heart and has 2 lungs. But we still assign our middle finger with the middle lobe of our lungs. And the little finger, stretching the little finger, pointing it downwards, influences the lower lobe of the lungs. Breathing in, visualize the lungs. The character phase drawn as flesh and plants that creep and spread over the ground with hundreds of branches. This represents the many branches within the lungs that gather the life force and influence the heavens above. The branches in our lungs are prolific and abundant and full of vital growth. Breathing in, we feel the chest wall expand. The diaphragm flattens. It massages the internal organs. The rib cage moves up and out. With this, the lung tissue expands, creating space, and air is drawn in, deep down into those tiny little grape-like sacs called alveoli. Air is drawn in. 21% of the air that's drawn in is oxygen. Breathing out, we breathe out carbon dioxide, and we visualize all the trees around us reaching out with their branches, collecting our carbon dioxide through photosynthesis with the sun. They then make oxygen, taking another breath in, breathing in, preferably through the nose. The nose warms the air, filters it, and with those tiny little hair-like filaments called cilia, removes any particles, any pathogens, bacteria or viruses that it comes in contact with. Breathing out, we release any pathogens and we release carbon dioxide. The trees around us reach out with their branches, taking in the carbon dioxide, having a relationship with the sun, and giving us back oxygen. Breathing in, we breathe in equally through the left and right nostrils, balancing Ida and Pingala, the moon and the sun aspect, the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. The air moves down the back of our throat, where it comes in contact with the mucus cells that capture any particles that are also identified as non-self, any pathogens. They might release chemical substances, macrophages, white blood cells that immobilize. Breathing out, those tiny hair-like follicles called cilia brush out the pathogens before they can go any further past this first line of defense. Breathing in, we open up now and stretch up, opening our hands, knowing as we open our chest, opening up through the central cavity that we are taking in fresh energy and life. Bowing down, we know that the branches of our lungs are prolific and abundant, and they full of vital growth. Opening up again, we know that when life is full of this vibrant energy, when we are inspired, then we can feel the depth of wisdom within ourselves. And our lives then can be guided by this internal Tao. Let's now come to look at our mudras. So I mentioned that the hands work instinctively on these sections of the brain, particularly the motor cortex, and these deeper parts of our brainstem, where we have these primitive areas where we've got primal and instinctive habit patterns there. So the hand mudras help to direct the life force, the prana, into these areas, creating a loop of energy which moves from the brain down into our hands and then back again. Mudras have been used across all cultures, and they basically were used to underline or seal what people thought or wanted to say. And will be familiar that within the Christian tradition, mudras are used. And that comes from a time when many people used hand gestures to invoke the gods. And I'd like to bring the mudra that we're going to work with today as a mudra focused on invoking the life force energy. And this mudra is called Uttara Buddhi, mudra of the highest enlightenment. So we start by bringing the hands together, crossing them just below the sternum. Having the hands together, I'm just feeling again the warmth of the hands at the base of the sternum. With mudras, it's important to have the pressure of the fingers very light and fine, and the hands should be relaxed. Mudras can be practiced for between 3 and 30 minutes, 2 to 4 times a day. Today we're going to practice for 3 minutes. Then I'm going to add an affirmation to this. So we're now going to extend out the thumb and the index finger relating to the lung and the large intestine. So bringing the thumb into relationship and the index fingers. And now we're going to take the index finger and direct it towards heaven, and the thumb pressing it to the base of the sternum. Breathing in, we press the thumbs into the sternum. Breathing out, we slightly release that pressure on the sternum. Breathing in, we press the thumbs into the sternum. Breathing out, we release the pressure in the sternum. Breathing in, we're now going to lift up the central vessel, coming up through the center of the body, up towards the nostrils, where we're going to place the tips of the fingers either side of the nostril, the end of the large intestine meridian. Not occluding the nostrils, but just holding, keeping the pressure on the thumbs. Breathing in and breathing out, releasing the pressure. Breathing in, applying pressure through the thumbs, applying pressure either side of the nostril, the end of the large intestine channel. Breathing in, applying pressure, breathing out, releasing the pressure. And we're now going to add the affirmation. So holding it at the large intestine point. Breathing in, my partnership with the powers of the cosmos allows my life to appear in a new light. Breathing in, new light through the nostrils. Breathing out, release the pressure. Breathing in, drawing in through the nostrils, my partnership with the powers of the cosmos. Allow my life to appear in a new light. Become aware of the warmth of the air moving in equally through left and right nostril. Breathing out, releasing any old patterns, any old habits, anything you'd like to let go of now. Breathing in, pressing the thumbs together, the index fingers into the side of the nostril. My partnership with the powers of the cosmos. Allow my life to appear in a new light. Breathing in white light. Breathing out carbon dioxide, and imagine the trees, branches stretching out, receiving anything you no longer need, no longer serving you, and in return providing you with white light, drawing it into that crystal deep inside you in your chest. Breathing in finally. My partnership with the powers of the cosmos. Allow my life to appear in a new light. Breathing out, slowly releasing the hands, opening them up and opening the chest out, arms out to the side, extending out the thumbs, stretching, opening up the chest, breathing in, drawing the energy above your head, bringing the palms above your head, pressing the hands in together. As you draw the energy back down the central line and coming back across to lung 1. Zong Fu. The center of the palace riches. Zong Fu Lung 1 is drawn as both an arrow being drawn and an arrow hitting a target. The square with both of these images representing two different meanings reminds us that in every moment there are two sides to everything. Lung 1, the start of the great cycle of energy, provides us with the reminder of the primordial story of yin and yang, dark and light. Drawing in life force, feeling that energy penetrating through the palms of your hands, through your hasta bandha, your hand mudra. Opening up all the fingers, knowing that the thumb and the index finger are penetrating into the upper lobes of the lungs. The middle finger penetrating across the middle lobe of the lungs. And the little finger sending the energy down to the lower lobes of the lungs. Lung 1. The center of the palace riches, representing the beautiful crystal of our inner being. This is the entry point that goes straight to our inner wealth and its connection with the heavens. Reflect on that for a few moments. Breathing in, taking in life force and energy, allowing the chest to open, receiving all that is around you, all the gifts of life. Breathing out, letting go, dropping down, surrendering. Breathing in, being inspired. Breathing out, expiring what you no longer need. The lungs are the receiver of heavenly chi, drawing in the inspiration of heaven itself. By breathing in, we take in a penetration of vital energy, providing us with guidance for life. Releasing now your hands over lung 1. We'll just do some work with the hands, generally stretching them out front, stretch them down, take them into a circle, rotating both of them outwardly. Try and stretch through all the digits, knowing that that's impacting into the cerebral cortex, taking them in an opposite direction. And now let's massage the thumb and the index finger, the lung and the large intestine. starting with the left hand, coming down to the tips of the fingers, which are known as the well points. The most active points on the meridians are at the ends of the meridians, just on the edge of the nail bed. So let's do the right hand now. Working through the thumb to the end of the meridian, working through the index finger. And let's finish by making that circuit with the thumb and the index finger. The final mudra, chin mudra, the basis of all the meditation practices. Stretching out the other fingers as you breathe in, gently pressing the digits of the thumb and the index finger together. As you breathe out, release that hold. Breathing in, pressing the index finger and the thumb together. Smiling as you take the breath in, breathing out, releasing the pressure. Finally, breathing in, pressing the thumb and the index finger together. Breathing out, releasing. Finally, let's bring our hands together into the Anjali or prayer mudra. Bowing our heads again, we acknowledge once again, coming together, community, our lineage, and the traditional custodians of our land. And I'll invite you to join with me using sound to close off our presentation, and then I'll invite you to have some feedback and sharing. 3 ohms, thank you. Thank you. And what I like is that we all acknowledge what we all have to offer, and in that, well, I think I know everybody but maybe 2 people on here, so I know that you're all either my colleagues or my friends through, there's a few from Sophia Mundi, the Steiner School as well. And so what I'd really like, if people either share it in the chat if they don't want to be identified, and I'll read that out, I won't read your name, or share something for you, what breath of life means for you, maybe what something from this session, perhaps rather than question and answer, because that's much more meaningful for me as well. So how about that? Now, Sonia, I can see you're moving there, Sonia. I'm going to ask you. Those who've been students of mine know that I'm not backward in coming forward. Sonia, you're on.
I can say just amazing, so simple, so powerful, you know. I'm really, really happy, and I'm pleased that you're here today with us.
Thank you. Always
Thank
love
you so much.
Sonia and Demir, who, you know, really, you're wonderful with us at college, and you're still around. Thank you, Sonia.
And I always, I
can. Now, Sonia, now you've given me thanks, but I want you to tell me something that you either learnt or what for you is about lungs and breath of life. Come on, Sonia.
What you want to know, Maree? Let me a little bit closer because of my English, you know that.
So what for you is about the breath? What can you share something you know that maybe it's something cultural from your culture about breathing or, yeah?
Yeah, that's absolutely life for me.
Yep.
Yeah, And you know, I grew up in country. It was really amazing air and breath. It's really different compared to this big city.
Yes.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. All right, now I won't identify anyone else, but if you put your thumbs up, then I'll identify you, okay? Otherwise, give me a chat room. Come on, I can see a few of you. Come on. Come on, don't leave me on my own. I got up, dressed, up now to have a shower. Come on. All right, Helen. Helen Franke. You've got Franke's name there. Helen, thank you. Helen, you go.
Hello, everyone. It's
Hi,
lovely
Helen.
to be here together with you today and to start this exciting venture. Thank you, Maree, for giving us your very all, which is so fine. Well, humbly, it's just great. You know, as an asthmatic as a child, it's great to. I'm working on the breath at the moment with another Feldenkrais practitioner, and yeah, I'm very thankful not to have asthma for 10 years or more now, thanks to Eastern medicine, amongst other things. But just, yes, thank you. As Sonia said, the simplicity of the visualization, but so very powerful. It's a great gift to just encourage us to take some time to concentrate on our breathing and visualizing these lovely coming and letting go. Thank you, Maree.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you, darling. Thank you. I know this. Oh, Lawrence, will you read out from the side? Yep. Go on. You can
We don't
read
have
it.
any.
Yeah.
Sure, we don't have any chat questions at the moment.
Oh,
But
there's a couple of things. Can't you see them? Oh, sorry, they're private. Okay, I'll read them out.
Yeah.
For me, the breath opens my chest to take in new emotions and let go of other emotions. It relaxes my trachea and effectively smell the roses, so I can effectively smell the roses. And also, can I please repeat the breath mantra? So I'll say that at the end. Yep. Okay, thank you. All right, I know there's a CMC and I'm not, come on, girlfriend.
Okay, yeah. So what I was finding was the thought of the divine coming in with the breath, and that, you know, that it's showing us a new light to our lives. So it's sort of like, for me, it's a sense of guided growth, you know, that opening the lung meridian is like a sense that you're not alone, that, and it just opens up so many possibilities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And, you know, it's good to be reminded, isn't it? And thank you. Beautiful. Come on, you're not getting out of it, you guys. Come on, there's an RR over there in the corner. Are you going to talk to me?
Hi, Maree.
Hi, Renee.
Thank you very much. I really like the reminder of how you said, again, the same as what Catherine was saying, how the lung is the receiver of the heavenly chi through the breath, but also how we are taking in an inspiration. So, and the way that the breath, how you were saying to emphasize with the slowing down of the breath. So for me, it's a good reminder of, you know, whenever I'm anxious or confused, to just slow the breath down and be able to just, breathe and receive and move on to something new, like get that inspiration and be able to move forward. So thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you again. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Franca. Good to see you. You going to talk to me? You're just going to send me kisses. I get it. That's fine. Good. Virtual kisses. Are you going to talk to me as well? Can't hear you. Can you unmute? Thank you.
Thank you. Better?
Yes,
Thank you. I found it really beneficial to visualize the function of each part of the lung, because I realize that I lose trust in my body's intelligence. And when I connect back into that, it's a very serene state that I get into, because my body knows what it needs to do given the opportunity. So it was great to do that for me. I also struggle with very high anxiety at times, and being able to trust and also being connected to the higher intelligence as well as I'm breathing in was so beautiful to do, and a reminder. So thank you. So I look forward to the series.
Thank you.
Maree, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too. Blessings. Yeah.
Maree.
All wrong. Okay, I'll
Um,
just read it. So there's another friend. Sorry, I just need to read it and see whether I can read it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Could that friend who's written JB, could she just tell me whether I can read it out, please, JB, without, I won't identify you. Could you just send me another, because you've done it privately? Can I? No. Thank you. That's fine. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. I honor that as well. Thank you. Yeah.
Very quiet today, very quiet people.
I sedated you all. It's working beautifully. Thank you. Lawrence?
Maree, I was going to talk about where our oxygen comes from and that sacred reciprocity with nature. We've got this, I've got a beautiful tree behind me.
Yes.
And when we breathe in, when we take in and we take in the inspiration of the universe, we take in the inspiration of what's around us. The trees provide us with the oxygen, and we provide them with carbon dioxide, which allows them to provide us with oxygen. So we have this beautiful synchronistic engagement, connection, deep connection with the plants around us and the trees around us, because of the oxygen that we need for life. They provide us with that. So the trees are part of our inspiration and part of our breathing in and a part of our connection with the universe and the power of the universe.
Thank you. Thank you. And as above, so below, the fact that our structure mimics nature as well. You know, it's so beautiful. And beautiful article last weekend's Good Weekend about the immune system, of the ecology of immune system, you know, the subterranean flow of meridians and the conversations that are constantly going on. And that's wonderful, isn't it, in terms of our own sense of part of the greater. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. My friend has said, linking breath with inspiration was seeming new to me, and while I now remember I have known it already, I have not had the lived experience of it in this way before. So thank you, JB. A, Miss A, are you going to smile there with this beautiful painting behind you, or are you going to talk to me?
Hi.
Thank you, Aliki.
You know, I'm a bit shy. I just wanted to say, we all know how important breathing is for, you know, reducing anxiety and particularly this coming out of autumn, and also with the being in the year of the white metal rat. But I found, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
I found that doing the breathing exercises while connecting with the lung points was really powerful. So that's the thing that I noticed the most. So yeah, so it's something that I'd like to, you know, continue using in my breathing exercises. So thank you for that.
Beautiful.
Maree, I'll say something for you.
Thank you. Lovely to see you.
I really noticed the difference in the quality of the bomb at the beginning and the end.
Yes.
So it really was more resonant and more free at the end. So that was lovely. And it was also the breath really it reminds you about your posture. It's like filling up a balloon and everything just gets reset, and the structure, just you were reminded that the structure is there when you're full.
Yes.
So thank you. That was lovely.
And as a stringed instrument player, you're working with sound and movement and that vibration all the time. And we have beautiful Beethoven 250 going on.
That would be
those of us who are classical music lovers, the great father of sound, Beethoven. Yes, thank you. JA, also a wonderful teacher here. Do you want to say anything?
Is that what my name's saying, or is that someone else?
No, I'm just respectful. If people don't want their names used, I'm just not.
Right.
Little hints.
Yeah, chanting. What are we talking? Shall I say something?
Yes, please, Julie. Yes.
Okay. Just bringing back to me the importance of chanting, and how sometimes when people start yoga, they're afraid to chant and afraid to make the sound. But if they continue, they actually find that chanting, their breath becomes much stronger and much longer. So you're talking about the length of the breath relating to how long our life is. So that's interesting. And I love the imagery of the trees, and I know like the lungs are the tree within us. And for me, I love photography, and a strong motive for me is trees. So I'm always taking pictures of trees and feeling inspired by trees, and then the breath and the inspiration. So the same words keep kind of circling around. So yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you. Thank you. And Julie, I acknowledge, Julie is one of our practitioners and Okido Yoga, and through the whole COVID, every day she has been offering free Okido. And I just, that's a huge thing you've been doing for 2.5 months, Julie. I just acknowledge your perseverance.
If anyone's interested in taking part, I'm still doing it 5:30 every day. If you contact Maree, she can pass on my details, and then I'll send you the link.
Yes, it's a wonderful contribution to our community.
Thanks, Maree.
So once again, we might just finish with the affirmation. So because somebody did ask, and I'll write in the name of the mudra. You could look it up online. I'll just do those two things, but you're welcome, obviously, if you need to go off. This is recorded, and I think college is now really upmarket and has a YouTube channel. So that's very exciting. The old guard had to leave, Jenny and I, so that ultimately you'd go online and do some fancy things. So I'll just write the Uttara Bodhi mudra, and I'll just write in the affirmation as well. So you've got it. Okay, and perhaps we could just, oh, yeah, anyway, I'm sure you've got it right there. Sorry, I don't think that went into general. I think it just went in. So it's just gone into private. I'll just need to cut and paste that out so that it goes across to everybody. How do I do that? I'll just do, how do I do it so it goes, because at the moment it's just responding to the ones that were private.
Maree, Maree, in the chat dialogue box, you've got 2. There's a drop-down menu.
All right, in chat, you can.
And then you can send it to everyone that way.
Chat dialogue menu. Right, drop-down box. No, tell you what, I might just say it and I'll go through it with you after and fix all those up. So once again, we'll just say it and then I'll fix all of those things up and they can be on there. So just bringing the hands together at the heart center. So my partnership with the powers of the cosmos allow my life to appear in a new light. So Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. I give thanks to coming together with you all. And, you know, I will be offering through the college a series. So the name Gate of Hope is actually the name of Liver 14. You know, the great cycle of energy starts with the lungs and finishes with liver, and it's the last point on the liver channel. And when I was doing my sessions at the beginning of COVID, you know, that was probably the last point that we finished with. And I thought, what a great point, because it really is about opening up a new phase of hope. And so that's what I'll be putting together and delivering. We haven't organised the framework of it yet, but over the next couple of weeks, I know the college has got other presenters, and then you'll hear about that. So it'll be an online offering. And then maybe down the track, something actually physical at the college that we will do around that too. So I'll put up, when we go offline, I will put up those references for you so that they're there for you. Does anyone want to say anything else? Yes, water element. Yes, someone has asked. So the next one, I'll be working around, and we'll do the water element, and that will happen before we finish in winter, and then after. So it'll be a seasonal. So it'd be water, and then obviously into wood, fire. Earth takes its place as late summer, but it also has a space at the end. The last 2 weeks transition of each element is a space for earth as well. So anyway, it's a journey like all journeys that will continue on. It will be offered in this online space as well. So I'll say goodbye to you all. Please just think of me if you're meditating, throw a few bits of chi out so that I learn not to be so stubborn and jump wire fences, okay?
Thank you so much, Maree. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I know I certainly did. Maree is a treasure and a gem, so I really appreciate your time today. And I appreciate everyone coming in, spending their late Sunday morning with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Gems only come because they're rubbed by sand. So you all help to rub me. You're all the sand to make me a gem.
All the best, Maree.
All the best, Sonia.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.